Last session, the party took a trip to the site of Valiant's assault in search of answers. You spent the majority of the day there tracking footprints and finding deer. And when night fell, you made camp. Unfortunately, one of the trees revealed itself to be infested by a fungal monstrosity waiting and watching over the site, and the ensuing fight was a pretty hard one for adventurers caught without their armor and with their pants metaphorically down. Later, the party questioned a young Saiyan, a half-elven girl living in the woods on her own. She seemed generally cheerful girl, but one party member seemed to incense her with his prodding into her home life. Answers were found, new questions were raised, and the party hopefully has some insight into their next location, although from what I heard, it's still rather up for debate who's going where. On the Copper Road, two women have recently just met the gates of Crow's Landing. One of them, a woman missing an eye and dressed protectively in studded leather, gives the other one a deep bow and gestures grandly to the city before departing. She'll receive her payment later, and she has business meetings planned later tonight. Amberlosa, you are a free woman, loose in the streets of Crow's Landing. Your adventuring party is apparently out doing a job to pay for your freedom, and their arrival date is unknown.
I was gonna say, I guess I'll just go buy myself a drink, but then I realized there's a bit of a problem attached to that.
Why? You lose your wallet on the way?
Paco,
Yeah, what's up?
burn. I guess
What are you doing?
I'll explore the town until I find something interesting.
The rest of you, who's going where? Are you all going to Valiant's house?
I guess so.
Yeah.
You're not splitting the party?
No, God,
no,
no.
that was a joke.
Just a meme, DM.
I don't know, you
do
could
it.
do it.
No.
We
I
fought.
would enjoy the hell out of myself.
I would rather not, mostly because I don't want to end up in the Scooby and Shaggy part of the team. I don't know which team that would be.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. It just means whatever team runs
Who
into
would
trouble
be
first.
Daphne, though?
Unironically, I legit think Carrion.
Okay, explain.
Because Yvette is 100% the Scooby character, right?
And the Shaggy.
And
At
no,
once.
the Shaggy I think is me. Teo is the Velma.
That you know what? That's fair.
Teo is the Velma, which leaves Fred or Daphne as Carrion. But Carrion isn't like
Oh my God!
positive
This is
enough
the
to be
second
a
time we've had a
Fred.
campaign where our group was the fucking mystery gang. Remember when we had this discussion, fucking Queen's Court?
You make it to Valiant Norn's house. What's your how are you going to introduce this concept to them? I'm so curious.
Is Teo doing it or is Q doing it?
Oh.
You're gonna
Hold on.
get two very different results, I feel.
Yeah.
You
hold on.
have another party member with you.
Carrion, are you doing
You
it?
could let Carrion do it.
I mean, if Karen wants to be the face of the party for a second, she's welcome to it.
Huh.
All right, fucking fine.
I thought you were.
I'll back you up, but I'm not gonna do the talking.
I thought you
Right.
said sup and like that was gonna be your opener. I'm like, we're already starting strong.
Hold on. I got.
Keep in mind you are knocking on this man's door after dark.
Oui, je sais. One moment. Croissant extérieur. This is the accent. Bonsoir, monsieur, and my apologies. We have run into a bit of a not exactly an obstacle, but a bit of a We ran into something that's not an obstacle per se, but more of a small trip. Just a little what do you call it? The with the
Are you talking about the giant tree monster?
no. Well,
The what?
yes. And I was trying to go for the analogy of we ran into a snag. Snag. That's the word. That's the word. We ran into a small snag in the investigation.
It was a giant tree monster.
Yeah, it wasn't actually that small. It was like
And it was
big.
more of a that's not the snag I was referring to. I was going to ease him into that idea Q.
Oh.
But yes, we ran into right around where your son was attacked. There were some creatures, one of a large fungal persuasion, and several of a more plant matter. Uh, you haven't heard of any of this happening before, have you?
Uh, no.
Right. So after that, we went to your son's friend's house to ask her some questions. She has been. She has noted that she has seen some fires in the distance, but a small problem that she seems hesitant to talk about is that she lives completely alone. Were you aware of that? Or I mean, she's a capable girl, capable of
Sounds like I need to have a conversation with Valiant.
it. Perhaps seems capable. She seems to be capable of some manner of magic, and I'm sure if her parents are somewhere in the picture, they aren't completely absent from her life. But suffice to say, she lives in a single bedroom cottage, alone in the woods. Not exactly within yelling distance of any neighbors.
And you left her alone? I mean,
She refused to leave. So I was wondering if we could camp here, either out in your yard, if that is all that is possible, and in the morning we could escort you and Valiant to her home, as she's apparently capable of a sending spell. So if any more trouble happens, you two have easy access to calling for help. It would
yeah, and
be
you can sleep on our floor if you'd rather get out of the
that
elements.
that would be very generous of you. But we know this is a bit of an inconvenience, but something about leaving a small girl on her own and also leaving the two of you
No,
without,
I'd rather know that Cyan had an adult with her right now.
at least until this matter is solved, and then further choices can be made after.
Oren is looking a little bit like he bit into a lemon, but not like directed at you as he steps back and lets you all in.
Beautiful.
All right,
Okay,
who's first, second, and third watch?
I'm second, as always.
I'll do first.
Yeah, and I'll take last because hopefully it might be daybreak so I can see.
Yeah.
He's just gonna walk
All
and be
right,
like, "You said we could sleep on the floor, right?" Whoosh.
just immediately out.
Yeah. I mean, I take off my
Do you
armor and
take-
whatnot, but like,
Okay, I was about to say, are you wearing your armor?
Pretty
The
sure our
previous
supplies.
image was so much funnier to me.
I'm pretty sure our supplies even account for like bed rolls too. Did you just?
nope, I don't think I've ever used one.
Oh,
You
I
have
just
bedrolls in one tent.
I just take
Oh
off
my
my armor
God.
and just plonk.
And I assume Carrion is carrying it all. Because Carrion's the only one with any strength in the party.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Q, but.
in all the time I've been traveling with her, I don't think I've ever noticed that she doesn't use her bedroll.
Carrion just shrugs.
Oh, phew.
Beautiful. Are you watching from inside the house, or are you
No,
going
I'm
outside
outside.
and doing around?
The watch came from inside the house.
I'm
But
outside.
who was phone?
Shame.
Q, perception check. You do not see any serial killers, but you do find some absolutely lovely glowing mushrooms.
Where?
You can only see it because you can only see it in the darkness because of, the glow. But they're a little ways away from the building, and it takes you a moment as you're going over them before you suddenly have a flash of realization as you realize that these mushrooms are growing exactly where you found the burned footprints the last time you were here.
I look at the tree that was burned.
There are mushrooms growing on the trunk.
Do I have any type of mechanism to create fire that isn't Yvette?
That isn't Yvette. No. There would be a flint. There would be a flint and flint and tinder in the camp goods that you're given. Actually,
I'm
you
gonna light
probably
this tree on fire.
you're going to light this tree on fire.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and make me a
choice.
cursory survival check because I don't know if you've ever used a flint and a flint and tinder before. You set the fucking tree on fire.
All right. Now that it's bright, do I see anything else?
The mushrooms are, like I said, growing out of the burnt grass that the fungus, or out of the burnt grass that the serial killer left, and
Murderer.
as you're standing there, how long are you going to stand next to this burning tree?
I mean, I'm going to move away from it so I don't catch fire. And there's
Well,
something
yeah,
else I'm
but
going to also do after this cursory check.
all right. You don't see the fungus growing anywhere other than where the burn marks were. You don't see any more burn marks around from a cursory check, and you have a burning tree right next to you. What are you doing next?
I'm gonna run inside and I need to look at Valiant's arm.
All right. Are you going to wake Valiant first?
I mean, I'm not doing anything special to keep him asleep.
Okay. Are you going to light anything so that you have
Oh yeah, I'll have like
visibility
a light
because
so I
it is
can see
dark?
in the dark in the hut.
What light?
A stick from this burning tree that
Oh,
just
so
lit
you
on fire.
okay. Okay, that is important information that I needed to know.
Are you being quiet when you enter the house, or are you just running inside?
Yeah, I need to know that.
No, I'm moving normally. I'm not being stealthy.
Okay, I guess everybody can make a perception check.
Is that perception or just passive? Is that passive?
Perception.
Okay.
It would be against passive perception if I had a stealth check to measure it against, but since I don't.
Fair.
I mean,
Oh.
my stealth check's not gonna be good. I'm wearing
Okay.
armor.
Okay, Carrion and Teo, you are both awoken by the sound of the door opening and crackling fire, as well as the sound of Q in heavy armor fucking booking it across this tiny the light is also a
Q.
Yeah,
Q
1 second.
reaches over and grabs Valiant by the arm. He
Is there
is going to
Can
wake
I
up with a shriek.
is there a
take
reason
the
you have
burning stick out of Q's hand?
Q, are you going to contest this?
No, as long as I can still see.
Okay.
Q? I literally have shown you that I have a spell to create lights. There was no need for a torch indoors.
What are you doing with it, Karen?
I'm wordlessly taking it outside and
Alright.
putting it out.
I'm
Before the
Wait,
light
coming.
then do
goes
I
o-
see the whole fucking burning tree?
Yeah,
I-
you now see the
before
burning
before
tree.
all that happens, are there
Yes, what
mushrooms
do you-
coming out of this kid's arm?
His arm is still in bandages. You do not see any mushrooms growing out
Okay.
of this kid's arm. They would
I'm
have
so
been if
glad.
they would have been if Teo hadn't cast that spell a couple
Yep.
sessions ago, though.
Yep, I figured.
It's a good thing that Teo and Killian are left to babysit the other two idiots. I'm so happy I don't have to deal with it.
Shush you, it's gonna be your turn again soon.
That's assuming you survive.
Yes, Carrion, you see the burning tree. Q, you see that at least there are no mushrooms like visibly growing out from behind the bandages, and the bandages are still laid flat against the skin, so it's not like they're like bulky.
Gotcha. They're not budding or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like look at it, like run my hands over to make sure there are no bumps, and then be like, okay, and then just like tuck them back in.
I put the torch out, I turn on my heels and storm back inside. Why is there a burning tree?
Orin is now half awake and what the fuck is going on?
Does anyone know Paco doesn't have this look as a frame of reference? You know the look of judgment that I give?
Yes.
That is what Teo is giving Q right now. The unadulterated, uncensored just what the actual fuck do you think is wrong with do you think you're doing?
It's that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that one exactly.
Yes.
Do you mind explaining why you ran in here with a burning stick?
Would you mind explaining why you set an entire tree on fire first?
But
Orin darts outside. You hear a distant cry of dismay.
Okay. Do you remember?
In as few words as possible.
Okay. Basically, anything the blue fire burns sprouts mushrooms. The mushrooms that were on the giant tree monster. So I saw in those prints that we found the other day, there were mushrooms. And then the tree next to them also had mushrooms, so I didn't want to have to fight another 12-foot tall giant tree monster. And then Valiant got burned, so I wanted to make sure he didn't have any mushrooms. And now I'm worried about that cave in the garbage disposal with all those mushrooms.
You could not have waited to set the tree on fire in the daytime
Well, I didn't want it
when,
to be,
when it would be less visible for anyone who is trying to find us.
Well, they already know we're here. Not like we're hiding.
I whatever gods are listening, give me strength. Right. So, well,
Hey, Teo, can you just roll me a d20?
just a straight D20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Continue.
God. Logically, I do agree with your course of action as insofar as burning a possible problem. I do have to agree with Carrion that waiting would have been better. Primarily because it does bring attention to this area, but also because you cannot burn a tree without, making sure there's not underbrush or debris that's going to catch and start a forest fire. Also, carrying a lit torch that's not even a true torch, it's just a burning stick indoors, usually a social faux pas.
Oh,
Just,
is this like that polite society thing Alton was talking about?
well, this is less polite society and more fire hazard, so this is a safety thing.
Don't burn the fucking house down.
Even if it has
Fire.
mushrooms?
Even if it has mushrooms, if someone lives there, don't burn it down without permission. Unless we hate them. But we don't hate them.
Thanks. From
And
the Orin is just kind of standing in the door.
I'm in a party full of arsonists.
Yvette slowly goes up to clutch her horns.
Oh god.
I
I'm
am
really having
gonna side-eye that tree. Is it a forest fire? Did I just like am I gonna set Smokey the Bear on us? Like
CR20 Smokey the Bear.
If you stick your head outside, you can see that what Orin was doing was he was actually like clearing out. You can see that there's like he set up a fuck, what's it called? A little like barricade.
a
Mhm.
fire
fire
break?
line?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fire line. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and help.
I'm gonna check on Valiant. Because that
Valiant has left the house because he does not want to be next to Q, but he is on the other side of the building because he doesn't want to see the tree fire.
Q, I'm going to suggest something to you.
Mhm.
The next time you interact with someone who was recently attacked by someone wielding fire, even if it was a different colored fire, maybe don't approach them with fire.
So water.
Sure, that will work. I'm sure that will. Or, like I said, you can simply get my attention because I am capable of casting some light around us. Will you remember that for next time?
Yeah.
Do you promise?
Yes.
Will you shake on it?
Yes.
I will hold out my hand because I'm really afraid she's about to actually shake herself.
Q is also going to hold out her hand, but doesn't make the connection that we're supposed to like grab
Right,
hands and
okay.
shake.
Okay.
Because like
Q.
the only real physical contact Q has had with people has been grapple checks.
Okay, Q. Right.
Oh, the
So,
poor touchstone.
so a handshake, which is what we are doing right now. You will grasp my hand or my
I'm gonna
forearm.
grab you, but like it's not a handshake. It's like that whole Roman like brother salute.
Oh, with the like forearm thing?
Yeah.
Oh, he was about to say that works too, so that's fine. He's like, all right, this is a bit more personal, but it still works. So this is we are shaking on it. We are making an agreement without an actual contract. Do you understand?
I don't know what a contract is.
A contract is is a binding legal document that requires you to fulfill one end of a bargain, and the contractor fulfills the other part.
So
Legally
I'm
binding, or you will be arrested. That is what the
so
contract.
so in order to not be arrested, anytime I need light, I can't use fire. I have to talk to you. and you have to give me light.
We will. You just let's just agree that right. Okay. So we are agreeing that you are not going to bring in an open flame that is not a properly made torch into an area. Okay.
But I actually need to write this down.
Okay. Properly made torch, like with it's built to be a torch. It's not a flaming stick. Prefer that you avoid any large flames. I would prefer any chance you get, come to me for the spell or use a candle. Not a torch, not an open flame. Come to me or get a candle. Otherwise, just do not uh, just think before you engage with fire in any way, shape, or form. Okay?
Okay.
Right.
So what do you do?
What do you mean? What do I do?
Well, you said that like the contract is I do something and you do something. We know what I
My
do.
s- my something is that I provide you with light anytime you ask.
Anytime I ask.
Anytime you ask, and that light will not put us in danger by getting us seen when we are trying to be stealthy.
Okay.
Let's go with that, and we can add different amendments and clauses to this very supposed to be informal contract as time goes. Um,
Okay.
why don't you go help Carrion and Oren, and I will go find Valiant to make sure he is all right.
Okay. I'm gonna go help with the fire that I lit.
I'm gonna find Valiant because he is not allowed to be out of sight at any point in time.
Um, you see, Valiant has something fancy that you don't, called a tail, and it makes
Mm-hmm.
him very good at climbing things. He's on the roof.
Do I see him on the roof though?
Um, perception check.
Okay. I do want it noted that after meeting Carrion, I probably would know to look up. It just might take me a second.
Oh yeah, you find.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Valiant.
his wings don't work.
Valiant. Are you okay up there?
Yes.
Do you need anything?
You want to get my blanket?
Alright, don't move from that spot. Go get his blanket. Oh
Right.
god, he is the party dad! Fuck!
He wraps the blanket around his shoulder. Remains on the roof, facing away from the fire.
Do you want any light?
He gives you a look like you're stupid and gestures over his thumb at the raging tree fire.
A non-flame related light?
I mean, I can kind of see in the dark, so.
Hmm. Right. Do you want... Hmm. Do you want to be left alone and I can just stop talking?
Yes, please.
I'll be right here if you need me. I'm just keeping a watch because I don't like this kid on his own.
Alright. Eventually, the tree fire is contained between the three of you. Everybody. I mean, at this point, there's no real point in returning to bed because it's already dawn. So everybody just wakes up and gets ready to travel.
Beautiful.
I don't know about you, but I had a real fun time last night.
Q, I think I need to buy you a card game.
I'm not talking to Q.
That's fair. I think I need to get you a game, some sort of game to play.
I mean, I have these, and I take out my ball bearings. I've been using them to play marbles.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah, it takes you about half a day, like normal, to travel to Cyan's house. You are not attacked by random serial killers. Sorry, murderers.
Okay.
Are you just gonna drop them off with Cyan and start making your way to?
I mean, yeah,
miss-
but I would ask Sayan if she's seen anything since we've left her, like, just to make sure there's been no changes.
She hasn't seen anything. She has been drawing her blinds closed, and they're pretty opaque.
Okay.
I would say while Saiyan is getting whatever inevitable lecture from either Teo or Orin, he was going to
No,
be
I'm
going.
leaving this to Orin.
You're leaving at the Orin? Okay. Q's going to be going through the woods looking for more of those mushroom patches.
The footprints outside Cyan's bedside window. How long ago were they? That yes, they would also be growing mushrooms by this point.
From this set, do I see any other mushrooms?
Go ahead and make me a how slowly are you going? If you're doing a cursory like check of the area, then perception. If you're like hunkering down and investigating the area,
I'm
just be aware that that will
I'm
take
going to be doing this
longer.
until they're done in the house, so until somebody calls for me.
Then you can go ahead and roll an investigation check. You do not find any before somebody would call you.
Okay. Are these just, I guess the last bit, are-
I'm assuming you guys are just dropping ore and you're just staying for
Mhm.
like 15 minutes. So
Yeah,
I'm
pretty much.
okay.
the only other question,
And
sorry, is are these the same type of mushrooms I saw in the cave or no?
These are not the same kind of mushrooms that you saw in the cave.
Okay.
The ones
That's
that
all I
you
want
saw
to know.
in the cave, they have a similar color. I will say they do have that similarity, but the mushrooms that you saw in the cave, like the entire part of the mushroom was glowing. It's just the fuck, what do you call are they the gills of the mushroom or what
Yeah,
are
the
they?
gills are the little spongy things on the underside.
Yeah, those are the only parts of these particular mushrooms that are glowing.
I will remind them, just like, if anything happens, they know how to get in contact with us, and we might not be able to come immediately, but we'll get back as soon as we can if it's like an emergency.
All right. And actually, before you go, Saiyan is going to press into Q's hand, actually, because she doesn't like to.
What?
She is.
She's really not gonna like Teo after Orin's done with her.
That may be a part of why she's giving it to Q. Orin has already started it on the lecture, and she stopped it to go hand it to Q after you all reconvene at the door. And she's doing it in front of everybody else, so everybody else sees this. But she's just gonna give Q a small. It almost looks like one of those antique pendants with the little filigree metal design set around the gem, and the gem is a small sapphire. It's probably about an inch tall, maybe half an inch wide, and she's going to say that Q can use it to cast sending once.
Well, this is really pretty.
I
Okay.
only have 3 though, so only use it if you absolutely have to.
Okay.
And Don't die. Bye.
Oh, we've already done that.
Oh. Cool. She doesn't look like she finds it cool.
Do you
It
have
wa-
to
it-
tell? Do
Well,
you
I
have
mean,
to tell everyone that?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm just pointing out that like, not that big a deal.
For most people, it is. For most people, it is.
Most people only die once.
Yellow.
Yodo.
Yoda. I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna say it.
All right, where are you going?
We were going. If I remember correctly, our route was that we were gonna head towards Calic's house by way of going a little south through that like little setup of
Hamlet
like
or whatever.
three houses. Ask
Okay.
them questions there, and then make our way to Calic's house. I believe is how we were gonna do it.
I believe that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that path, if you leave immediately from Sayan's house after staying for only like 15 minutes, you should get to the three houses probably sometime around like 8-ish, like 8 p.m.-ish. And if you leave the three houses in the morning, you should be able to get to Calic's house by probably a couple hours into the next day. Like it would take about a day and an hour or two of travel.
Okay.
So about 10 hours.
Beautiful.
Wouldn't that means we have to spend another night in the woods?
It will, yes.
If we were to straight shot Calic's house, would we still have to spend a night in the woods?
If you were just straight shot Calic's house, then I would give you guys a point of exhaustion, but you would probably be able to arrive sometime around 10 if you left in the morning. That would be a lot of travel though.
What do you guys think?
And that's assuming you leave in the morning from the three houses. That's assuming that nothing keeps you there.
Oh my god, I feel like we're wasting so much time, but like I don't know what we can do besides talking to witnesses.
I mean, we can go through the woods and look for these mushroom patches. Presumably, there will be one at the site of every corpse that got burned.
Presumably. Yeah.
But
The
then it's sort of,
only
again, hit
you
or
don't know
miss.
the
We have to get there,
and
yeah.
and the thing is, you don't know the location of where Calic's husband died.
Yeah.
Wait, have I told you the name of her husband?
No.
You did, and
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I could use Ray's name without spoiling anything.
I think Teo knows, because I think Teo was
yeah.
talking to Sane about it.
Yeah. I have it. It's in one of my note cards, and I really don't feel like going through the note cards right now, so don't make me.
It's Ray.
Yeah.
I think I wrote it on the map at some
No,
point.
you wrote
or something.
Calic's name.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to know where he died to like triangulate shit, so
Then we might as well
So-
just straight shot Calic's house.
you'd rather do that and then go to the three houses?
Yeah. Because, like I said, the location where he died and when he died
All right.
are two
Yeah.
big missing pieces.
Okay.
And you eventually find Calic's house.
Okay, so
Unfortunately for all of you, it is built in an Arakoa style.
Fuck.
oh good. I mean, Carrion might be able to to help.
Carrion could pretty easily get to the front door, actually. There are no like steps leading up to the front door. The door is just like set into a balcony, like way up high. It's like the bastard son of the coolest treehouse in the world, and like honestly, it does bear kind of a resemblance to a nest.
Right. So, Carrion, would you like to go knock, or shall we wait until the morning? Or shall we just yell at the door? Also an option.
Well, I can knock. Do you want me to talk?
If I have just realized a certain problem with that plan. You are a very intimidating woman, Carrion.
Thank you.
It is past midnight, so you knocking on her door
Well, I
at this
could
time might
leave my axe here.
that could
That
help a little bit. Yes.
we are just asking about the location.
We just well, to start, maybe tell her that we are investigating the crimes. Don't launch straight into questions. And just introduce yourself. Ask, tell her our purpose, and then you can ask the questions. If she feels more comfortable coming down here and talking to us on the ground, she can. But it's whatever.
All right. I will go fly up to the door.
I
And
will very delicately hold her axe. It makes me.
oh,
I'm-
it's pretty heavy. I don't know how
yeah, I'm like,
delicately you can
okay,
hold
I'm
it.
like trying to delicately hold it. I'm not. I mean, I've got a
He's like
strength. I've got a
he's
strength of
holding it.
14, so
He's
I'll be
holding
fine.
it like axe. The head of the axe is like on the floor, and he's like holding it like arms length away.
Yeah, this definitely really not my style of weapon is what I'm saying with my body language.
All right, Carrion.
Carrie just left her security blanket.
Oh,
Carrion, you knock on the door. You hear some very confused chittering noises from inside for a few moments before the door is eventually opened and you see an Aarakocra.
Oh, whoa.
she's very pretty. I'm not. I'm only a little bit sorry about making the chicken noises.
Um,
She blinks at you, looks over your shoulder at your wings, and then goes back to your face.
I tried to give a um um
There are so many movies that are coming to mind of like the really tough character being told to smile, and it's just like coming out
that's
as a
exactly
grimace.
what she's trying to do.
Make a performance check.
Oh no.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad. Hello. I'm sorry to be interrupting you this late. Uh, we are here investigating um some odd murders that have been occurring in the area. Um, would you like to answer some questions for us?
In the middle of the night.
Well, it is a bit of an urgent matter.
She tilts her head and cranes her neck in a very, very bird-like motion to catch a glimpse at the rest of you chilling on the floor like the wingless fucks you are.
I mean, I'm not wingless.
They're vestigial.
They're vestigial, but they are big wings, and he's got 6 of them.
Um, yeah, I'll make some tea. Just she shuffles back inside and then comes out with a rope ladder. She'll swing it over the edge of the balcony.
I mean, she was married to. Well, I guess he could have had wings. He was a tiefling.
Actually, Paco, for fun information, Teo is a lot lighter than you expect.
Hmm.
It's part of the weird shit about his biology. Made of stone, 6 feet tall, only 200 pounds.
Hollow bones.
He's like some of those replica statues you see. Most of them
Mhm.
are just like wooden inside.
That's
Huh.
exactly it.
He
The
probably
Teo is
weighs
actually
less
made
than
of wood.
Carrion.
I think I do weigh less than Carrie.
I
I
mean,
think you
just
might
by
weigh
a little
less than
bit,
me.
but
Possibly.
Oh no, I have my weight down as question mark question mark.
All right, you the rope ladder is dropped for the non-flying individuals, and Kalik is going to leave the door open as she wanders in to make some tea for her 12
Late night callers.
1 a.m. guests. This building is a lot larger than Sayin and Oren's. It looks like it's probably like 3 or 4 rooms actually, and the Aarakocra wanders in from the kitchen area with mugs of tea for all of you.
Is it just tea?
It's like nettle something.
No, but like.
Oh,
so
it's not poisoned.
No, like it's not the kind of tea you would want to sweeten, is it?
No.
Okay, then I won't ask for sugar.
So how can I assume you're here for Ray?
Yes, that is correct. Our apologies for the sensitive topic, I imagine.
I mean, I'd rather you ask the sensitive topic and find out who did it.
That is what we are trying to do. We are trying to catch the perpetrator, and between the attack on young.
First, can I get your names?
Oh,
Who you're
my,
working for?
my apologies. My name is Teo. Uh, this is Q, Yvette, and Carrion. We are on a technicality working for Crow's Landing.
All right, and you probably already know me, but my name is Kalik.
A pleasure.
I guess just I'll just go over what I know real quick to try and head off the questions,
Oh,
if
okay.
that would be faster.
It could help, yes.
Um, so Ray and I were hunters in the area. He was a tiefling, and Aarakocra aren't exactly common around here, so it was a way to get by. We sold to mercenaries, or in up north. Uh, the mercenaries that we sold to the east, the northeast, they're actually the ones that found his body.
The northeast. Uh,
Yeah,
Okay.
Nets and his girls.
When you say northeast of your home or northeast of the peninsula?
Northeast of my home, near the entrance to the peninsula.
Understood.
That's why I said it like that. When you said you were taking a stray shot.
God damn it, I knew it! Fucking knew it! Fucking knew it! How long ago was this?
4 weeks ago.
How long had he been deceased when the body was found?
Well, luckily, he was going to meet Nats in Crow's Landing, so when he didn't show up, Nats decided to make his way back home and he ran into him on the path. He doesn't know exactly how many days ago it was. He went on his hunting trip. It could have been anywhere in a 2-week window, to be honest, which is great to think on.
Again, my apologies. How long had he been gone from? When was the last time you saw him yourself?
About 6 weeks ago. Like I said, it'd been about 2 weeks before he was
Mhm.
found. We don't know when during the 2 weeks he.
And the state of the corpse?
Um, burning.
And
Looks like
this
he was burnt.
and a strange question that has only recently entered into the equation. Was there any sign of any sort of fungal growth on him? Burn or no burn? It seems to
She gives you an odd look at that, but nods slowly. There's a. I might know something. Nets would know much more. I've just heard this story from Ray, but he and Nets found um, a mushroom cave. I don't know the exact location. I'm sorry. It was somewhere between here and Crow's Landing. He mentioned it though. You just mentioned fungus monsters and it clicked.
You haven't seen any blue flames of any kind in your neck of the woods, have you?
I haven't. I'm sorry.
And any sightings of a bioluminescent mushroom?
No.
I know this sounds nerve-wracking to ask from a bunch of strangers so late at night, but you're not completely alone out here, right? You have neighbors somewhere, or at least any
Um,
contact people.
I have places to go if I'm in danger,
That's all we need to know.
and if push comes to shove, very few things around fly that are more dangerous than I am.
It's just the last two witnesses we discussed things with. A little seemed less martially inclined.
If you said Orin, he's an alchemist. We're the closest thing to a protection he usually has.
Yes, and the young girl Sayan seems to have very little other than some magic to her protection.
I don't know who she is. I'm sorry.
She's from the Valiants, much closer to them than to you. Apparently, she's seen these flames, and Valiant was attacked on his way home from her house. Small girl living on her own out in the woods. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Do you have any other questions about Ray or
Um, you said you were both hunters, so I'm assuming he was not defensive, correct?
he I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
You said you were both hunters, so I assume he was not defenseless, correct?
He was also proficient in combat. We weren't exactly mercenaries, but we've had to hold our own a couple times.
Could he fly?
Yes.
Okay. I go back to like leaning on Teo.
Oh, that changes my mental image
This is
of
gonna be
how
like
this is
this is gonna be
happening.
like the most awkward, just like patting on the head of just like, oh dear. Do you know that should be all that we need, but if you we hope to give results to Valiant and Oren and Sayan of this investigation as soon as we can. So if you want to keep in touch with them for updates, that would be my recommendation. As I mean, no offense, but you are a little out of the way, and contacting you might not be easy to let you know that whoever's done this has been caught.
I'll make sure to stop by Orin sometime soon for more poultices.
Right.
If you need a place to stay, I do have a cellar.
That would be most kind, actually. Are you sure we're not intruding?
Better than having you out in the elements.
Right. Well, that's, thank you. I will, yes, I suppose we should all turn in then.
She will fly down with Carrion while the rest of you slowly take the rope ladder.
A lope ladder, is that what you
Yes.
use?
I tried to say that like 3 times in a row. While the rest of you take the rope ladder for chumps.
Yes.
Is it
And
labeled as
she'll
such?
No, but it creaks in that like alarming way that signifies it's new and rarely used.
Mm-hmm.
Or not so much new as extremely rarely used.
Yep. God, I wish I had slow fall just so I could fuck with Q a little bit.
And she'll direct Carrion to a cellar door into a burrow that's been dug. It's probably like 4.5 feet tall, so the taller folks are gonna have to slouch pretty badly.
Fuck that, I gotta crawl on my hands and knees. We
Okay.
need Amberlosa back so Carrion doesn't have to pretend to be party mom anymore.
You think
want
You're
Amberlosa's gonna
pretending?
be
you want
party
What?
mom?
What? What are you?
What?
Huh?
Wait, all
I don't-
parts of this comment are confusing.
I like how
What
everybody had a different
fucking
reaction to what was
coke
said.
are you snorting? What
I
the
just,
fuck?
I don't like the concept of Teo being party dad and Amberlosa being mom because the implication of their dynamic is really weird in that.
And then there's also the alignment of
No.
well
No,
alignment
it's fine.
duality of affiliations. Like
It's
Oh my
fine.
God.
Don't worry about it.
Sleep.
Yes, you all wake up with knives pressed to your necks. No, you do not.
I was going to say, I
You
can't
wake
tell
up.
if you're joking or not.
No, you do not. You wake up the morning of the. Well, I mean, it's no longer morning. You wake up in the day, like 10 a.m. Of the 27th. It is a nice 12 degrees Fahrenheit with a heavy wind, no
Brisk.
precipitation. It is gray, highly overcast.
Right, so should we should we say goodbye to Callie? just like inform her we're leaving, thank her for letting us stay and move on?
I will say the rope ladder has been retracted.
I will leave a note for her then. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave a note that's literally just like, thanks for letting us stay. We'll keep you updated on what's happening. Sign it with my name.
Tell her I like her mask.
Postscript. Q likes your mask. I think she thinks your face is a mask. And she cannot read this, so she probably thinks I've only delivered her message.
Can I read it?
Yeah, you could read. You could read.
Hey, I can read
Oh,
that.
I thought she was illiterate.
I mean, I did too, but apparently I can read.
you just don't know what languages you know.
Oh.
None of you know what languages you know.
What are you talking about? I've learned my language.
Yeah, you've learned. Yeah, unless you have more.
I mean, yeah. Q. Fine. Postscript. Q.
Postscript.
Postscript. Apparently, she can read. I don't even know anymore. Thank you. This woman is gonna have like quite.
Silently while writing in French.
I will end it with just a note of in French of just like I don't what is it in French actually? God's
Imperial.
help. No, like I was thinking like what the phrase "God's help us all." God's preserve me in French. That's what I'm gonna say until I can remember what that is in French.
Q.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very sorry to say this. You can read Imperial.
Wait.
What?
I can read it,
What?
but I can't understand what they're saying.
That is correct.
What?
That's so weird.
It is. I'm sorry.
I need to edit this. 1 second.
There is a reasoning. I promise. I've been waiting for her to see written Imperial.
Hey, I can read that too.
What the fuck?
What do you mean you can read it? You can't understand it when we speak it.
Actually, Zaz, I guess this is relevant because I have observant. Can I read their lips when they speak it? I assume no.
It's it's weird because when they're speaking it, sometimes there's like a word where it'll like click. But for the most part, you don't understand it when they're speaking it out loud.
Okay,
Oh my,
gotcha.
oh my god.
It's like a sort of like a deja, like it almost feels like deja vu when they talk.
Oh
Like
my
you feel like
god.
you should be understanding this.
He was a fucking code breaker for glycelin.
It's damn near sundown when you arrive at the three houses. But these ones actually look probably about the same level of quality as Science House. So a lot more stable looking than Oren's or Calyx Nest.
So is this all the same style as Saiyan's
It's
house?
not. Nah, it's not an Emporia design, but
Okay. Aha! You said it out loud. Instead of just nodding. That's all I needed.
how can I not? This is a purely auditory medium.
Vocal nodding, whatever. Q, would you like to go knock?
As you guys are kind of cloistered near the edge of the clearing, you do actually see an individual leave the middle building and give a kind of a large wave over the area between the two of you.
Nice. I'm gonna wave back and hit him with a yoo-hoo.
He'll respond with a very amused sounding yoo-hoo.
I just
I think that's the
I
first
can't
positive response I've gotten.
I can't convey through a vocal medium, as we just discussed, how immediately I just started pinching the bridge of my nose. And that is Teo's reaction.
He'll yell back. It's not quite a yoo-hoo, but it's like halfway there.
You?
Or who?
Hoo. More like a hey, but
Ah, the Yoo-hoo's
Eh.
lost cousin.
you approach the buildings and he meets you kind of at the edge of the U.
But the who?
Not the as
I could do this all night.
as you get closer, a brown-haired gentleman, kind of a scarred face, dressed in sturdy clothing. Can I help you, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, we are actually on an investigation of sorts, and we were wondering if you could possibly answer some questions.
Yeah, this investigation I gotta do with Calic and all them.
Yes, that would be correct. And my name is Theo. This is Carrion, Yvette, and Q. We are indeed looking into the attacks.
You can call me Nuts. Then he's gonna hold out his hand for you to shake.
I will shake his hand. This is probably. I feel like this is the first time anyone has offered me a handshake and not the other way around. I'm kind of weirded out by this, actually. I think that probably shows in Teo's face. He's probably looking at it like a little bit mystified on the whole, like, oh,
I
oh.
will say, he barely gave Carrion a second glance.
Huh.
We are actually looking for you exactly.
Glad to know I can make this easy for you. If you want to join me in my house, then we can put some
Uh,
food on, grab a
y-
drink. We can talk about. Well, I actually have some information for you that I feel like I ought to share. There was a, as he's leading you back to his house, there was a cave that me and Ray found shortly before he died, and I've just been waiting for someone to stop by and ask me about it.
Hmm. Hmm. I. God, I'm a paranoid fuck. I'm just like, this is way too easy. This is way too. um, hmm. I will say Teo's natural paranoia picks up at that, where he's just like suddenly not like
Okay, so
on edge, but
Teo
just
is
like a little
Teo's doing his
tense.
thing.
Yeah, he's a little tense now.
Did you
Yes.
did you file a report?
I mean, I asked Calic if she wanted me to take Ray to Crow's Landing, but she said that she'd rather handle it herself. So I just decided if somebody was gonna come chasing down whoever did this, they'd find me eventually. Listen, Crow's Landing, it's all fine, but I live out here for a reason. Any other questions for anybody as you're being let in? Q and Carrion?
Nobody
Mm,
else. We didn't see anybody in any of their houses. Nobody else seems to be here, right?
As far as you're aware.
Can I just walk over? Like, how far apart are these houses from? Can I just walk to another one?
Yeah. The door that you're being led to is probably about 45 feet away from the other two doors.
Okay.
At a rough estimate. So are you walking to one of the other buildings instead?
Yeah, I'm just gonna like whoop, and just start looking at another
Are you
building.
trying to be stealthy about it?
No.
Alright. Which one are you going to? The one with the lights off or the one with the lights on?
Light on.
Okay. As you start to walk to that building instead, Nets is gonna turn his head and, can I help you, ma'am?
Well, I just figured, there's 3 houses, there's 3 of us.
And maybe just come to my house and we can get you set down. You can meet the other two later.
Don't mind her. She has a tendency of wandering.
I mean, he's here right now. They're here right now.
They're actually not. They've stepped out. They'll be back soon. And you can ask them.
Can
They
I,
didn't go to the cave, but you can ask them if they knew anything.
can I
Maybe
in-
they just didn't say something.
can I inside check that they're out, but they'll be back soon?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is probably seeming like crazy to you, but I am paranoid as Teo.
He's lying. He rolled
Is-
an 8.
Hmm. 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 How close is Carrion to me?
Mm, I mean, I'm standing behind you, but I'm not like too far.
Can I? So you're standing behind me, right? So if I can make just a very slight thumbs down kind of motion. I don't even
Yeah.
know if she'd see it, but
Carrion, are you actively looking around?
I mean, I'm like scanning the area, but also like paying attention to what's being said.
You can go ahead and make a perception check.
Yikes.
You do not spot what Teo.
damn it. That's all I can really do to warn them without.
Well, what
doing
about the other
anything.
house?
What other house?
The one with the lights off. It basically is that person there.
Nah, Promise is also out.
Promise?
The owner of the house.
Q's gonna do a little bit of word association here. All of the tieflings we've met have had adjective or noun names, correct?
I believe
believe
all of the
so.
tieflings that you met have had
Mhm.
virtue names, yeah.
Ray is different, but we've not met him
That's true.
since he is dead.
But still, majority.
Is he still? Do I need to roll a separate insight check to see if he was lying on that one?
I'll let it roll on the same perception check. He was lying for that one too. Since you were definitely aware of his shenanigans.
If Promise is also, is he, like, have you seen him recently? Because if he's a tiefling, then he could be in danger.
She's
Or,
fine, don't worry.
sorry, she. I mean, like, but they could be anywhere.
If I promise you that Promise can take care of
Promise.
herself, will you come in and have dinner with me so we can stop standing
I know what we can do.
out in the woods?
I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna hold up my hand.
Oh no.
He blinks at you. He's starting to look a little bit uncomfortable and antsy.
Come on. I'm gonna like start waving my hand.
She wants to shake on it, monsieur.
Shake on what?
Well,
That she's your promise that she's fine.
He grabs Q's hand. I promise that promise is fine.
and you'll give us dinner because well,
And
I
I
have to
will
do
give you
something
dinner.
for you actually. I think is the way this works.
Oh, you can come into my house and sit down, so we're not standing up. And he is going to get started cooking food for you guys.
I'm watching him like a hawk as he's cooking.
All right, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Oh.
And as he is cooking, yeah. So that cave that I was talking about is, listen, I don't know what it is about it, but I feel like it has something to do with something. It was just creepy.
That's descriptive.
I mean,
Very.
okay, it was a cave that was set into some sort of like rock hut shelter something, and it went like straight down in a super unnatural way that caves don't actually do, and it was full of glowing mushrooms. So
It's a garbage disposal.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, so his back is turned to us, right?
Mhm.
I will.
I mean, he's glancing over his shoulder like when he's talking. It's not like he's completely.
Yeah, but I'm gonna mouth to Carrion that he's lying about the others.
I'm gonna ask this guy why his name's Nets.
He used to run with an adventuring crew before I retired.
And I don't know what that
So on
means.
account of I'm real good with nets.
As in fishing or gladiatorial fights.
I mean, both, I guess.
Hmm.
Got the nickname on account of it in combat, but I was the one that did the hunting and the fishing, so
I'm gonna walk up and show him my fishing pole.
I forgot you had that.
yeah, that's a piece of shit actually.
She's.
I'm gonna look
Have you
around to
even?
see if he has a better fishing pole.
He does. It's also in this room, so you can actually find it.
Have you even used that since we've gotten it for?
I mean, I've like. So
Q.
I
Better
think
question.
I
Better
think fish
question.
live in
Q.
water.
Yes. That's what my question was. Q. Do you know what fishing is?
No.
It is the practice of catching a fish, either with a pole or with a net.
So all those like all those times I threw this into a puddle.
Not likely to catch anything.
I was not aware you were doing that. Otherwise, I would have said something. We can go back to that later, Q. Let's listen to the man's story.
I mean, that was pretty much the long and short of it.
Well,
We
where'd you
didn't
find it?
see anything uh, about probably a little bit west of the land. It was on our way back from town itself, selling off a whole bunch of game that we'd hunted down. If you pull out the map, he'll mark it as about there.
Have you seen any fire? Like blue fire in the woods?
Can't say I have.
Do you know Valiant, Oren, and Saiyan? You said you know Calic and Ray, but
I've gone to Orin once or twice for
right.
potions and the like. Never met this saying. Valiant came over to do something with a promise a couple months back, but never really talked to him myself.
This sounds odd, but can I ask what exactly Valiant had to say to promise? As long as it's not a private matter, was it?
Like I said, I wasn't actually a part of it myself. He just spent the day and was
Is
presumably home by supper.
what is Promise's specialty? Perhaps he was just expressing an interest.
She's aspiring alchemist of her own.
I'm also gonna be looking around to see if he has any nets just to play with, because he's mentioned them.
Set nearish to the fishing pole, kind of almost close to the door itself, there is what looks like a spear and a net.
A spear,
Yeah, the
like
spear
mine.
and the net are both not. It looks closer to a trident.
I'm
Oh.
really glad I didn't express to you that you can fish with spears. I'm really glad. Hopefully she doesn't put that together.
I'm still gonna pick up the trident and just start messing with it. Sort of the same thing I was doing at Leary's.
He's definitely gonna start looking over his shoulder significantly more frequently when he notices that. He's
Right.
definitely looking over his shoulder now in a I am making sure that this person with a weapon isn't currently charging towards me kind of way.
I won't ask you to describe it before dinner, but perhaps after the meal we could discuss the state of things when you found Ray.
He looks at the half cooked stew that he's warming up for you guys, and I mean, if it won't put you off, like I said, mercenary for a solid 20 years.
Was there any kind of Gallic did express that there were burns? What
Yeah,
about
and freaky fucking mushrooms growing out of him.
did they coincide directly with all of the burns, or were they present?
They were growing
together?
out of the burns.
That is something we have noticed in our investigation. Yes.
I I don't know how much this is gonna hurt your investigation, but I did kind of clean him up before giving him over to Calic. If you want the mushrooms, they should be. I didn't want to bury him or anything. They're in our shed.
Yes, we can study them before figuring out a safe disposal method, probably.
I was gonna hand him over to Crow's Landing next time I walked in if I couldn't find anything better. So if you could take him with you, that would be much appreciated.
See, just out of character, just into Theo a little bit because he's paranoid ass. It's just the fact that one, he offered to take the body to Crow's Landing, and now he's considering taking the mushrooms to Crow's Landing, which is a big population center. Well, big. Just, mm, mm. I don't trust.
You can ask him about his insight into that. Know why he would take them to.
Yeah, you're right. And why would you take them to Crow's Landing exactly?
They have alchemists, magicians. Don't they have that one mushroom scientist?
I'm afraid I'm not a native of Crow's Landing, so it's possible.
Question:
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anyone with red hair, blue tattoos, maybe like a foot taller than I am?
Um. No.
No one,
Insight check.
no one here, no one in Crow's Landing.
You can go ahead and check that.
I'm trying. My sheet was closed.
uh. Teo,
Yes.
this man is lying through his teeth.
Aha! Oh. I at that, the moment he turns his head around, I'm making eye contact with Carrion and just being like, trying to communicate with facial expression. He's lying. He's lying. He's lying.
Oh god, please let me pick up on this.
Go ahead and insight.
Oh no.
Do I need to roll anything or?
Go ahead and roll persuasion to see how well you communicate the concept.
Okay.
Roll well. Yes, you can
Okay.
understand him. He is doing all the work here. I hope you understand.
I understand.
And I'm not doing this to leave out Q. I mean, that's not here spiritually, so she's useless. But
If that is outside watching for serial killer ambushes.
Wait, we left her alone?
I'm sure it's fine.
What's she gonna do? Light something on fire?
Yes! There will be another
Well,
tree on fire.
But I'm not meaning to leave out Q. It's literally just Carrion is the very obvious muscle, and Q, Paco out of character. I adore Q so much, but Teo does not trust her one bit to not open her mouth and spill things she shouldn't spill.
I mean,
Um,
because here's the thing. I wasn't going to roll insight at all that because no matter what my follow-up question was going to be, are you lying to us?
Oh my god.
Because I didn't trust this guy from the moment he knew we were in an investigation and we never said it. Because I learned from Leary when she knew our names and we didn't mention them.
Uh-huh.
Nobody we've spoken to should have been able to talk to this guy.
But he's gonna set down the food. It's
Do
stew.
you mind if I just habit of mine to just pray before a meal, if you don't mind?
I've worked with clerics before. Do whatever you need to do.
I'm gonna say my prayer, but I'm gonna say it in Imperial, and while that's happening, excuse to slip in a purified food and drink since it's a verbal and verbal and somatic. I'll just you don't know what I'm doing with my hand.
He was gonna lean over and just be like, he's weird like that.
Mhm.
It's not even a lie. He's a cleric, so I'm sure he does actually do prayers. He doesn't know who
Well,
to
I'm
right
just
now.
remembering that one time you prayed and like you were saying you were doing a prayer of healing and you were saying all your shit like backwards and in French and from memory.
Did you have any other questions, or waiting
Do
for?
you happen to know when your compatriots are expected back?
I'll be honest with you. I would feel a lot more comfortable if you only talk to us. Not that I don't trust you. And he actually gestures between Teo and Carrion. But Promise has been through a lot.
I'm not insight checking him to see if he's lying. I'm just insight checking to see if there's like some if this is like genuine protectiveness. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, you can feel free to insight check that.
Hmm.
As far as you are aware, it appears to be genuine protectiveness.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna straight up ask why not promise.
She's not exactly the most normal looking individual, and people have had some pretty bad reactions in the past.
More unusual than us. And I'm copying his motion of just motioning between Carrion and I.
He looks between the two of you real close before nodding.
I'm going to be honest, Carrion. I'm kind of surprised and a little bit impressed.
Uh, Not exactly a positive thing in her life, but
She's alive. That's really what matters at the end of the day, is it not?
you can see why I would rather you just talk to my daughter.
But would promise not to be more receptive to people who look like. I gesture between me and Teo.
Half this fucking conversation is happening with this goddamn hand gesture.
I just want I can just see Carrion like looking between who is being gestured at every single time too. Um, I can ask her, but if she says no, will you listen to that or?
I will listen.
Agreed.
All right.
And
And with that, he's actually gonna stand up and lean out the door and just let out an ear-piercing whistle.
there goes the whole, oh, they're not here. They'll get back later.
They do actually come out of the forest, not one of the two buildings.
Huh. Oh my god, they probably saw us coming and hid.
Mm.
That's totally what happened.
Yeah, you know,
One of the two individuals that walks out is very clearly like clothed head to toe in draping black fabric, and the proportions are definitely off as they dart towards the darkened building. But the other
Well-
one,
Maybe that's what Carrion needs to do so we can get into cities.
Just
Well,
look
I mean,
ominous as fuck.
we'll sell you off as a fortune teller.
This is our
And-
personal impersonator of the aspect of death.
Hey, that's my job. I'm the death cleric.
and the other figure that wanders up towards you is a youngish looking human woman.
Spelling her name wrong again.
Asla. Right. At some point during this conversation, I gave up taking notes, so that's great. I'll catch up with that later.
But in terms of the other figure, real quick, like proportions wise, very tall and very skinny. Like probably like 6'3", 6'4", and maybe like 130 pounds. But the girl will damn near swagger up to the building that you guys are all kind of, I assume, peering out the entrance of.
We're doing
How-
the Scooby-Doo.
How old does Asla look?
Probably like 18, 19.
Okay.
About the same age as Carrion, to be honest.
I'm still not over that.
Me neither.
I will say, when these two people come out of the forest, Q is, mouth full of stew, going to wave and yell, try to yell yoo-hoo.
You hear a very mumbled yoo-hoo.
It's loud, it's just not clear.
Okay, a very...
Q.
Essa is going to walk up to you guys, and Nets is gonna pull her into a kind of side hug before ushering her in the door.
Before I make introductions, Q.
Mhm.
Don't speak with your mouth full.
Oh.
Oh
There's-
god, that was the most parental thing I think I've ever said.
There's gonna be a
Alright.
pause, and then you just watch as like, I just swallow the whole thing.
That was a noise. That was a noise that accompanied that. It's one. It's a little. It primarily it's just rude. It's one of those social etiquette things I was telling you about.
Oh,
But
polite
also,
society.
yes, but also it makes a bit of a mess.
There ain't no polite society here, dude.
Altham said I was gonna be
That's
part of
us.
polite
That's
society.
us. That's us left from the door.
Come,
Altham said that I was going to be part of polite society. I just wasn't yet.
Well, you ain't gonna find it here, so she's gonna hold out her hand for you, Q.
I know what this means. I'm
This
gonna
is-
take her forearm.
This
What
is
are we
not a
doing?
promise-based one, Q.
What are we doing?
This,
I'll just try to shake your hand,
this,
girl.
Q. This is an introduction.
But you said this was for promises.
It's for both. You need someone to tell you that it's a
She
promise.
she's just gonna grab your hand and put it in her hand and like shake it really obviously before letting go and stepping back.
If they say that it's a promise, it's a promise. Otherwise, when they're introducing themselves, it's an introduction. Q.
That's so confusing.
We'll have a,
All right, so
Mm,
why
mm.
why did you call me? She looks over at Nets. um, these individuals were hoping that you would maybe have more information on what happened to Ray a couple weeks ago. Uh, you were the one that found him, so I mean, what you want to know? I didn't.
How frequently do you wander the woods?
I mean, there's not much to do here,
Yeah.
so a lot of the time,
And
pretty much whenever I'm not, gardening.
and have you happened to have seen this cave that Nets has talked about?
Oh, he told me to stay away from that the second he found it, and Nets is nodding in approval as she says that.
Listen. Apparently, I am a fucking dad because, like.
I would like to insight check.
Yeah,
because I
same.
feel like she could. I mean, she didn't say
Oh,
yes or
damn it.
no.
I mean, hilariously, Q is the only one here who doesn't know for sure that they're lying, despite being suspicious from the start.
As
But-
far as you are aware, she's telling the truth.
And what about any bioluminescent mushrooms around the forest?
Um, found a couple.
Do
Didn't
you
pick
know?
any of them up, if that's what you want to know.
Do you know? Could you generally remember what area they were?
Um, I mean, kind of all over, but mostly north of here. Just kind of scattered around.
Right. And any fires? Have you seen any fires? Blue fires.
Nah.
And do you happen to know of any more attacks besides the one on Ray and Valiant?
Shit, Valiant was attacked?
He's alive, but yes.
Uh, no. As far as I was aware, it was just Ray.
It's how long ago was this? I'm sorry, it's in my notes. They're over there.
I would also have to go through my notes. Shit.
Oh.
Valiant was attacked a month ago.
Thank
So was
you.
Ray.
Okay. Around a
We
month
couldn't
ago.
determine how close together the two were.
But they were both about
Both about a month ago.
A question and a bit of advice. Netia was unfamiliar with the creatures that attacked us at the site Valiant was attacked. So just a bit of warning until this is solved, I suppose, is that we were attacked at the site of Valiant's assault by a giant mushroom sort of creature. So not mushroom, but fungus-based creature that was accompanied by several plant-based entities, presumably magic in origin. But again, going back to the theme of some sort of fungus thing, it would be best to be careful. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
And secondly, Netia claimed Netia couldn't answer this for us, but do you happen to know a red-headed man, taller than Q here, blue tattoos?
I stand up as tall as I can.
No.
That's all I can think of to ask at this moment. As this
She's-
case seems complicated.
She's gonna wander over, grab 2 bowls of stew, and walk to the house that Promise ran into. And as soon you can see that Nets is kind of craning his neck to watch her as she goes to the house. And when the door shuts, he turns to you and you said you had healing magic.
Yes.
Do you mind if I talk to you alone, real quick?
Of course.
He has the clap.
Of course. Just lead the way.
Okay. He's going to lead Teo to his, well, the bedroom, the only other room in the house.
Oh, Nets.
Oh, come on!
Listen, I'm not playing one of my flirty characters, so you know that's not the reaction I'm having.
And
Taylor,
we will
wait,
see you
Taylor.
guys in a minute.
Oh,
Well, Carrie, you want to get some more stew?
nope. It's all
Oh.
you, fam.
All right. I'm just gonna
Thanks.
mark down. Teo and Nets went into a room. Teo comes out looking satisfied. In my notes.
I hate you. Right. So we are allowed to stay. If I speak with she's already walked off, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's over in Promise's house.
I will go briefly speak to Asla about staying arrangements if you all would like to finish eating.
I mean, I've already eaten this whole pot of soup while you were in there, I think.
Perhaps you can clean the dishes. Do not throw out the soup.
Throw up or throw out? Why would I throw the
Throw
soup out?
I don't know what Q would think of in terms of cleaning dishes.
I mean,
That's
I
the
ate this
thing.
whole damn thing.
She scraped the pot clean.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Just
It was
clean.
probably like venison or something. How do you say that?
Venison, I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was probably venison.
If you two don't mind cleaning, I will speak to Asla very quickly. Try not to invade Promise's privacy over there.
I'm going to swallow what's in my mouth and just be like, okay. And then the second you leave, I'm gonna turn to Carrie and Yvette and be like, I don't know how to do this.
Oh no.
Does Carrie know how to do dishes?
You know?
I
Can I roll a history check?
Yes. You can. And roll a history check.
Holy
You know
fuck.
how to
God.
do dishes.
Oh, thank God.
Okay.
But will you do the dishes?
I will tell Q how to do the dishes and then not do them myself.
Like a prim and proper. You command the
like
servants.
like a true elder. elder.
Oof. All right, yeah, I'll do the dishes
Alright.
with Carrion's instruction.
Teo, you knock on the door, and Asa is the one that answers. She does not open the door very wide.
No, I'm not gonna be offended by that. Hi, yes. Asla, was it? Yes.
Yeah.
Your father said, and I quote, "He's kicking you out of your room to let us stay for."
She gets out, closes the door behind her, and starts making her way towards his house.
He's sleeping. Well, or resting.
What?
Uh, he needed rest apparently. He more or less collapsed into the bed. You're free to check up on him. I just that you quiet.
She'll go and check up on him.
I'll follow.
Alright. Are you going into the room with her, or?
Yeah.
Alright. She's gonna open the door and stick her head in, and they'll have a very quick conversation. He is obviously not giving her any sort of hint as to what just happened.
Mhm.
And eventually she closes the door and gives you the most suspicious look possible. Alright. I'm gonna go grab some of my stuff to bring to promises, but then you can
Do you need
have
Uh,
free reign of the place.
Do you need help carrying things to the door? I want into her home. Just if you need help moving your things.
Nah, I got it. So you all settle in Oslo's house?
I'm gonna ask if we want to do a watch because I know we're safe-ish, but I also kind of want to do a watch.
You're the only one that knows that. Carrion thinks that this dude's a fucking
Oh.
liar now.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will inform Carrion quietly because I don't want to worry Q necessarily since I didn't think I will be like, yeah, Carrion. We I don't think we actually have to worry about him. He had good reason for hiding what he hid, and he admitted to lying, as well as provided reasoning I find right now at least sound. I would still recommend a watch for the four of us, but we should be safe.
I think you're full of shit, but alright.
What? I don't know. I didn't expect that.
I love the absolute zero respect Teo gets.
Just like a real dad.
That was the best I've ever heard.
The
Teo kind
various
of just looks.
That was fucking amazing. I'm
Teo,
so glad I could play witness to that.
Teo kind of just looks a little like perturbed. He's just like, all right, fine. Uh, if that's how you feel, we'll take a definite watch.
Q, it's dark as fuck for the majority of your watch. You can't see shit. When dawn breaks and you're just about to head in for the end of your watch, though, you do see Asa and a dark-robed figure. Asa steps out, looks at you, and gives you a wave
I wave and
before
yell yoo-hoo.
motion.
You and those yoo-hoos, man.
And she's gonna beckon the robed figure over to the main house, and while the robed figure is visible, Asla is just staring you dead in the eye, waiting for you to make a move.
I mean, I'm literally just watching them. I'm still waving and yelling like, "Hey!" Like,
Good morning.
yeah, like I have no idea that what's happening. I'm just like happy to see him.
She'll, like I said, she'll wave back, but she is definitely being a watchdog towards Promises trip. And that's the end of everybody's watch. Morning. Everything's great. Y'all are still presumably alive. Hey, Ambelosa, what are you up to?
Presumably alive.
Well, Ambelosa,
Mm-hmm.
you are going to have a very interesting day ahead of you. But unfortunately, that day is not going to happen on this session.
Okay.
So,
We're gonna tune in next time, and Ambrose is just gonna be dead in the middle of a street.
You know, since I haven't been
Kill-
doing certain things, that is entirely likely. That, or I may just become powerless. We'll see.